We're back with Congressman Pete Sessions representing Texas's 17th Congressional District, and we're talking about Canada-U.S. trade. Pete, the petrochemical industry is supremely important to the Texas economy, and plastics are value added to petrochemicals. I think you've been following what's been going on with the Canadian government trying to restrict our energy development and the derivatives that come from it, which is plastics. What are your thoughts? How's Texas done so well, and what should Canada be doing to synergize?
Texas has wrapped itself around an idea of success, and that is seeing things in the marketplace and specializing them to make the products better. This is where part of what I believe in is rule of law, the USMCA, which was an agreement that was updated by the Trump administration that I was a part of. This was done to update not only rules and regulations, but the thinking about how we keep the relationship between Canada and the United States and Mexico special. And we did that because we not only focused on the things that will keep us together, but how we were going to make sure that our markets were protected. One of those is the plastics industry, and that is that you cannot use environmental policy, either of the countries, as a weapon against the other. And we have so much trade, unfinished business, unfinished products between Canada and the United States that depend on the ability to ship them, to wrap them in plastic, to protect that product, and to move forward. It actually is more than just a trade issue. It is a safety issue of the product. And the United States is very jealous about any ability by the Canadian government to impose their will of politics, green politics is what I call it, upon a trade deal and upon business. It is an attack on what would be essentially capitalism. And
Right.
Capitalism, if it flourishes in Canada and if it flourishes in the United States, the consumer wins.
It's interesting that courts in Canada have recently ruled that the government's attack on the plastics industry is unconstitutional, unscientific, and unreasonable. And there's an appeal underway by the federal government, but it's likely to be unsuccessful. What are your thoughts on that? I know you've touched on the USMCA. Do you believe that the challenge to Canada by America will be successful?
In fact, I do. The business interests between the United States and Canada, not just raw products or finished products that come, it was threatened by the erosion of a leftist government that you have in Canada to diminish the ability for trade to exist. And while that seemingly is a real issue to the United States, it should be for Canada also. And so this is why I engaged the Canadian Embassy here, of which I have maintained a long-term relationship with, and asked them what was this effort that they were attempting to establish. It's more a part of a world market viewpoint that I think that Canada was falling victim to, and it would be against the best interest of the agreement that we have signed. And so I did. I engaged the Canadian government and asked them point blank, what was the effort behind this? Because we needed to know in the United States, because if not, we'll simply seek new partners somewhere else.
It's interesting, Canada only is 10% of America's population, but we take 18% of your plastics imports. So we're a good market. How to substitute that really is puzzling to many out there. And I don't think the substitution is warranted, well, or on a legal basis, justifiable. Would you agree?
I believe that's true, but I think when you sign a deal, it was done what was in the best interest of Canada. It was done what was in the best interest of business in the United States. And our ability to effectively continue and grow that business at a time when there is huge competition is important for both countries.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Just hold that thought, and we will be back after the break